What's up guys, and welcome to another video in Wild Kinetics. My name is Elam, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to learn from scratch how to write without looking at the paper. If you haven't already, don't forget to drop a massive like on this video, subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already in order for me to keep posting more videos like this. Comment down below what you thought of the video, and if you guys have any suggestions for any other videos that I can make, I'll be sure to take a look at those and see if I'm able to do those video suggestions. Now without further ado, let's get started. Here I have my paper and pencil, which you're gonna need, and you're also gonna need maybe a tape with markers. As you can tell, I have 3 markers right here. So basically the reason you should learn this skill right here, how to write without looking up, is because there are still some classes, like if you're in school, there are still classes like math, or maybe you still like writing in the old-fashioned way, or even writing on a tablet or on a touchscreen in general. People still do write nowadays. It's kind of hard to just have to look at the paper, look up, and then the teacher's already like 3 paragraphs ahead. So not looking down at your paper is almost as valuable as a skill as not looking at your hands when you type on a keyboard. It's basically the same skill except for handwriting. So it'll save you time, and it's actually a pretty neat skill to learn. As you can tell, I have 3 markers right here that I just put with tape. So to start off, you first write the sentence like this. So I always go with this one, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, because this one has all the letters in the alphabet. So if you're struggling with writing one letter in the alphabet without looking at the paper, this sentence will make sure you got it all covered and that you're able to write every single letter in the alphabet without looking up. I do recommend though, like if you have just been typing a lot and maybe you're starting to write, if you haven't written in say weeks or maybe even months because you've just been typing your notes on your computer, etc. I recommend first you just start writing just with looking at the paper, so that way you get accustomed to writing again. And by the way, I'm left-handed, though I do have a video on how to write with both hands, how to become ambidextrous in writing. You guys should also check out that video where I go more into depth about how to write with both hands, but this is my first dominant hand, so I'm going to be using this one to demonstrate. So this N right here means normal, so this is how you would normally write it. This is what the sentence looks like when you normally write it while looking at the paper. Now this one means this first marker. So most people are able to write this sentence normally, right? With decent handwriting on a piece of paper, decently neat, right? Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna focus your attention on this black marker right here, and then you're gonna write this sentence. So actually, I'll do that real quick for you guys right here. So basically, this is what it looks like right here, normal. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now, this is normal. This is how you normally write it. Now you're gonna go look at your first tape. So I positioned this just a few inches above from where I would be writing. So my focus is not directly on where I'm writing, but directly above. So you're gonna be using that skill to basically write. So really, you're gonna be focusing on this black point, but you're still gonna be able to see a little bit of what you're writing. So this is with spot number 1 right here, spot number 1. Next, we're gonna try with spot number 2. This is like level 2. So if you're struggling to write this sentence with box number 1, then by all means, continue writing it like that. So continue, let's just say this was just a jumbled mess, try again and keep trying until you get it right. If you're just having a hard time writing individual letters alone, then I recommend you just write out the alphabet just like this with the same point, and then after that you can start trying to form sentences. All right, let's try the second dot. That's honestly not too bad, but it's gonna get harder. You can now go into dot 3. From dot 3 and onward, actually from dot 3, you're probably gonna still be able to see yourself writing. Then I'm gonna look at the tripod, and that's when it gets really hard because you have little to no peripheral vision to be able to see what you're writing. So this is training yourself. You know, this gets harder every time. Like dot number one, like what I said about dot number one. If dot number two is hard for you, by all means, just keep writing the dot number two until you can get it decently right. All right. Next, we're gonna go on to the third dot. This one looks just a tad bit messier because of course it's a bit harder. But honestly, these 3 points are basically quote unquote trainer points. I've already done the 3 dot, this is the third dot, this is dot number 3. Now it's time to go on to the tripod. So you can't see this right now, but I'm gonna focus on a little point on my tripod. I'm not focusing straight on the camera yet. That's the hardest one to do. That's like if you're sitting in a class in person and a teacher's writing something on the board, that would be basically looking at the camera, that view. So that's the hardest one. That's the one you want to get to, because then if you can do that without even looking at all at your paper, then you're practically able to master all the other levels. But next, I'm going to move on to tripod, which is basically level 4, I guess you could say. Okay. So the reason you're seeing that maybe it's not terrible, like I'm not going down or up and my letters aren't really jumbled or words aren't really jumbled together, and that's because it takes practice, okay? So if you can't do this, that is completely fine. Like I said before, just take one of these 3 levels and just practice, you know? Take a table, tape some little markers, and then start from there and build up. And then, like for example, like a good starting point, like if you're just really not good at this and you're not able to do this at all, would be first to write the sentence 10 times on the sheet of paper, normally looking at it, to like kind of get your hand memorized, just to memorize this sentence: the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And then the first dot, write it 10 times. So write it once, look at it, write it again, look at it, etc. 10 times. Same for the second dot, same for the third dot, same for the fourth dot. If you're still struggling, then try writing more sentences, all right? But now for the ultimate one, looking at the camera. So this is about 20 to 30 minutes of just practicing, like straight up, like I took the paper and then I started writing these sentences. This is looking at the camera. Now, you guys can tell that sentence is pretty trash. Like that sentence is not good. So my best attempt is looking at the tripod, but looking at the camera, it's hard. So I'm gonna take my own advice, what I told you guys, and I'm gonna attempt to do it again. If you're doing this with me, let's try this again, all right? So this was the tripod, this was the camera. That one wasn't too bad. I mean, I did have a little bit of not too much space over here, but I mean, I think I nailed it okay in terms of just being able to read my own handwriting. One more thing, don't just do the same sentence. So this is a good start because, like I said, it has all the words in the alphabet, so you can practice with all the words in the alphabet. But after you're able to write this sentence right here, looking straight ahead or looking at the camera like I am now try and do something different. Like for example, subscribe to Wild Kinetics. That one was terrible, wasn't it? I dipped down and then I went up, you know. But I mean, it just takes practice, really, you know. It's good to look after you write one line, to look down, to make sure, and to readjust, basically, recalibrate, if you call it like that. Recalibrate your pencil to do it again. So let me try this one more time. Oh, I missed the S. One more time, guys. Third time's a charm, Subscribe to Wild Kinetics. Hey, I nailed it. I did it pretty good. So, you know, like all skills, this thing takes practice. So if you really genuinely want to learn how to do this, I recommend you just practice. You know, this doesn't take too much time like a sport. Just 15-20 minutes a day for a few days a week. Just sit down, start writing like this, and within a week or so, you'll be an absolute pro at this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and certainly don't forget to check out all my other videos, especially the one I did on teaching you guys how to write with both hands. Drop a massive like on this video, subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already after watching this video. I appreciate you guys for all your support, and as always, thank you for watching, and thank you for 600 plus subscribers. See you next time.